The War of the Worlds is a great tale of humanity fighting for survival in the face of an unknown, overwhelming, and powerful force. What starts out like a seemingly unstoppable foe turns out to be vulnerable to something that mankind has no problem with anymore, took care of long ago, and barely talks about anymore. But if you had told me that Ice Cube would have been that vulnerability in the 11th remake of the original movie, I would have laughed in your face. In this latest iteration, Ice Cube gives the performance of a lifetime as he plays Will Redford, a Washington, D.C. computer security analyst working for the Department of Homeland Security who finds his daily life disrupted by an alien invasion. While helping the FBI track down a computer hacker known only as Disruptor, Will watches from his computer screens as meteors begin to strike the Earth. The meteors open up to reveal giant three-legged machines that begin attacking the city. Fearing for the safety of his very pregnant daughter named Faith, her baby daddy named Mark, and his son Dave, Will uses the tools of his trade to track them all down one by one to assess the threat level that each one is facing. Eventually, Will and a NASA colleague, played by Ava Longoria, discover that this invasion has been engineered by aliens to harvest data from global data centers. As smaller insectoid drones strip servers for information, Will discovers that the mysterious hacker known as Disruptor is none other than his son, Dave.
It's you! It's you!
Yeah.
How could you, man? My own son is hacking the government.
Dave reveals classified files from a project known as Goliath, showing that the government knew these aliens fed on data, and despite warnings, the DHS director, Donald Briggs, played by Clark Gregg, activated Goliath anyway, which essentially acted as a dinner bell to the aliens. Will eventually gets locked out of the system by the director, so he teams up with his son and his cadre of hackers to regain access. The group creates a virus based on Faith's biomedical research to infect the aliens, but Will doesn't have a thumb drive to put it on. So, Mark, Faith's baby daddy, flies an Amazon delivery drone to Will at the DHS building, all while dodging tripod aliens, getting there just in the nick of time for Will to put the thumb drive into the database, which kills all the aliens. Having saved the day, sometime later Will gets a call from the Secretary of Defense himself, offering him a job to head up this new surveillance program. But Will declines, saying,
I'm done watching us. From now on, I'm watching you guys.
If everything I just said sounds like a fever dream, you're not far off. The editing, the pacing, the acting, and the special effects are some of the most jarring and unpolished I've ever seen. It's amazing that this movie passed by all the execs at Universal Pictures and not one of them thought that this might be a stinker. Ice Cube was also a very baffling choice to play the lead, as he has all the acting prowess of a plank of wood. We get some of the best reaction faces out of his performance, and one of the funniest images at the very end of the movie cracks me up so much that it actually exists and is in a real movie. In one particularly hilarious scene, Ice gives a Zoom presentation about the different sites the aliens have attacked, and he jive talks his way through it so poorly that anyone would struggle to see why he was the one chosen to lead the presentation to no less than 4 of the most important and powerful men in the country, including the leaders of the Army, the Chief of Staff, NORAD, the Secretary of Defense, and the President himself, played by a Joe Biden impersonator. The green screen that Ice Cube is sitting in front of is reflected in his glasses so often that they seemingly just chose not to remove it after a while. There are shots of reactions by Ice that are used multiple times, sometimes back to back, sometimes on repeat. One of the other things that really sticks out about this movie is that the aliens have come to Earth for our data. And if that's the case, then they're overlooking one of the most plentiful sources of data that's right beneath their noses. The human brain can store something like 2.5 petabytes, which is 2.5 million gigabytes. If these aliens can figure out the math, the energy requirements, and coordination to not only travel interstellar space to reach our planet, but also to have the ability to suck out data from the physical servers? How did they not notice the billions of humans that are essentially just data centers with legs? Now, I didn't cover all the issues with this movie, simply because I honestly think you should watch it. If you want to laugh and enjoy a movie that isn't a 2-hour slog, or some exposition-heavy auteurs attempt to explain whatever they think art is, then you should watch this movie. War of the Worlds 2025 will be remembered by those of us who accepted the burden of watching it as truly one of the best of the worst movies that has ever been produced, well, at least in our decade. This decade. It is sure to be remembered right up there with great movies such as G20, every Marvel movie that's been produced since Endgame, Section 31, every Disney remake, and The Room.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart.
Thank you for watching, friends. I'll see you on the bridge next time on The Night Trek. Qapla'.